So, a little more when it comes to our Masonic glossary or Masonic dictionary of terms and definitions and words and phrases and everything. I'm going to give you two in this little bit here. The first one is Anno Depositionis, and that's ADEP, Latin in the year, the deposit, and the cryptic Masonic date designation. And you take the current date, which is 2017, and you add 1000 to it. AD is Anno Domini, and it's not really the after death, it's Anno Domini. It's Latin for the year of the Lord. And we have a lot of different things that we'll add in a Masonic calendar. Pretty much every day is a special day, you know what I mean? But it all really surrounds around our Lord. We have a deep sense of a supreme being, and we get accused a lot of Luciferianism and everything. Really, that's, if you understood everything when it comes to our planet, and that Christianity was there's a lot of good that comes out of it. Don't get me wrong, and not all preachers and popes are bad, you know what I mean? There's a lot of good people that go to church, But you have to understand, Christianity was formed to change people's religions and perceptions. Before that, most of the people were involved in paganism, which is where you're basically a tree hugger. Like you love the earth and blah, 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 right? And your Lord is, earth, and you want to do good by Mother Earth. And I think we should all adopt a little bit of each thing, take all the good parts of each little thing and add it together, and let's make that a religion. Freemasonry is not a religion. You're not even allowed to speak about religion while you're there at lodge, and you shouldn't even be speaking to a religion, to your brothers in Masonry, because everyone comes from different walks of life, like all these years, I had considered myself to be Buddhist, and now I'm kind of wondering, am I Hindu? But, I wouldn't really want to have a conversation with somebody because, which is a Masonic thing, why would you want to have a negative moment lead to a possible end to your friendship just because you have a disagreement on your religious beliefs or, different beliefs that you have, religious or otherwise. Politics is another subject we're not really supposed to discuss, and we don't. We try not to even discuss them with our brothers, period, except for outside of a lodge. Whatever, we'll have the conversation if you need to. But when it comes to the year of the Lord, Anno Domini and everything, you need to understand that we have a deep love and a deep respect for religion and for, a supreme being, because it's all into leading you into a path of enlightenment, into a path of, the greater good versus what can you do for me, and life isn't about what you can do, for yourself. It's about what you can do for other people, and it's not about pointing the finger of what can you do for me, you don't do enough for me, because it's not like that. If you're like that, you're not going to be a good Mason, and I'm not going to be one that calls you a brother willingly. But with the whole Luciferianism, give me a break, dude. I mean, if you want to sit there and base everything off YouTube videos that are slams, and you want to say everyone's a Satanist, you need to get educated. That's all there is to it. Even if you are going to say, we worship Lucifer or something, get off your little high horse and find out what it's all about, because even Santa Claus is, in fact, Lucifer. Look it up. So Satan and Lucifer are the same thing, and Satan and Santa Claus Lucifer. That's all the same thing when it comes to all your little slams. Now, if you want to get a little more educated and let go of your, preconceived notions of evilness, Lunasa. And the Christian translation of Lunasa is Lucifer. That is because, back thousands of years ago, they worshiped many gods, not just one god, but with a ultimate sense of there must be a one that is supreme above all, okay? Which is kind of why I think I'm a little more like Hinduist or Hinduism or something. As I'm learning more about it, my Shiva, my God, my Lord, I'll figure it out. But I do know that originally Lunasa being the bringer of light, and that was the god of light, the one that would make the sun come out, because they all had many gods, like a god for light, and a god for this, and a god for that, and god for this, and god for that, and I mean, take your pick on which one you want to worship that day, because there's a ton of them. But Lunasa is, the one that would bring light, so that crops could grow, because you need sunshine to grow, so that they worship the sun as, a god, and the one who makes the sun come out and make your crops grow and everything. That's they called Lunasa, and being a scare tactic, yet again, go figure. And I did that whole little, kind of crap because I have nothing against Christianity or, any of their little divisions, nominations, denominations, however you want to say all that. When it comes to, Protestant, Catholic, the list goes on and on. Presbyterian and all those, you know what I mean? I have nothing against them. I think that they're fantastic because ultimately what they're trying to do is get you to be a better person and live a better life and stop being so concerned about what other people can do for you and what you can do for people. And I think that's the blessing of it all. But at the same time, you use scare tactics to scare people into living a life that they may not live otherwise. And that's not cool with me, even if they're a bad person. And changing, things around to make it sound evil and horrible, when really, if you had a brain in your head and you could think for yourself, notice my pause, because you really need to stop all your crap. Allow yourself to let go of any judgments and realize how things were years and years and years ago, with having a deep sense of a supreme being, whether you call it God, you call it, whatever you want, dude. We're good people, and we believe that there is a creator, whether it's one or a ton of them that you want to worship for a sun and for a moon and for, the earth and for whatever you want. Go for it, dude. Run it up. Believe whatever you want. Really. As long as you're leading a decent path in life, and as long as you're, with the mindset of like, yeah, there is some sense of a supreme being up there, down there, over there, wherever you want him to be, within you. The supreme being, that one that makes your heart pump and, your brain function and your eyes move and hands move and everything. Like, you don't tell your body, I think I want my blood to pump today. So we believe in a supreme being. And like I've said, and especially in this video, there's two of them. There are numerous dates that you can add to a Masonic calendar. Now, in the end of this dictionary or whatever it is that I'm doing for you, I'm going to take and do a separate video just for calendar dates throughout the year, okay? Now, I have a ton of videos outside of all of this dictionary stuff for you. But being that this is, God bless Freemasonry, the quantum mechanics of enlightenment and Freemasonry, I figured before I go too much further into very many things all at once, it might be better for me to educate you into terms and definitions and so on that we would call a Masonic dictionary or a Masonic glossary of terms and all of that. That way you could really understand for yourself, and have a better understanding before I even get into other things, because it's pretty focused around Freemasonry. And I'm proud of being a Freemason. And I don't care if you're not, and that you want to make slams and tell me how horrible I am or whatever. As long as you're focused on your own life and trying to do a better life for yourself and your family and all your friends, and you're out there helping you with your community and beyond, you know what I mean? You can do whatever you want in life. I don't care. I'll be right there to support you. But if you're going to be a nasty person and vile and everything, trust me, I grew up in a bar. I've got a potty mouth, and I'll tell you what it is and how it is. And if you don't like it, I don't really care. So, these two words here are two that are also in a dictionary, of, and a calendar date, is, Anno Domini, the AD, which is not after death. It's in the year of the Lord, and it's Latin for the year of the Lord. And then, like I said, the Anno Depositionis is ADEP, and that's Latin for the year of the deposit, the cryptic Masonic date designation, and that's like the beginning of Earth in creation and so on, which I don't really think it's right, because you got to go back further than that time-wise. But you would add 1,000 to the current date. So instead of being 2017, you would say 3017, and it ultimately goes back 4,000 years and further. But at the same time, understand that these have been passed down for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, not just 300 years for the foundation of the very first Grand Lodge, which is, 300th anniversary this year. And, back then, thousands of years ago, people didn't say UFO and alien. They called them, gods and chariots, and chariots of fire. And, so when it comes to different words used thousands of years ago, you got to understand what the artists were doing as far as, trying to show you things, like, they didn't have the mindset and comprehension to know that that's an alien and that's a UFO and they're coming down here, and, they're not called gods and, all that. But, yeah, I'm trying to help you out and educate you a little bit more. So save all your slams until the end. You know what I mean? I love you. So like I said, with this, there's going to be a lot of dates. And after I complete the dictionary itself, I'll make a whole entire calendar for you with Masonic dates. And we will go through those dates and again, so you'll learn all about them and what days they are and so on, all right? And I'll even get at some point of where I'm like, okay, today's like May 13th, my birthday, right? And today and on this day and all of that. So give me time, babies, because I got a lot of things to cover in this series and this episodes and, my show here. And I hope you like it. You're going to learn a lot, whether you like it or not, if you're sitting there reading and listening and, just look things up. I can't stress enough. So I'm not sharing every fine detail and spending hours and hours and hours talking about two words, Look things up for yourself. And that's how you'll, dispel any negativity that you might have around something. Like if you think we're all about like Satan, and then you look up and you find out after spending months and months of looking things up, oh, maybe I was wrong a little bit. Please feel free to be a better person and acknowledge your right or acknowledge your wrong, but don't, sit there and be like, oh, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, because I saw a video that somebody made. God bless you. Somebody's got to. Namaste, my babies. Have a wonderful day. Namaste is actually Sanskrit. We're learning. We're learning. And I am going to cover Sanskrit as well. So, while I learn Sanskrit, you know, and hopefully my memory will work and I can remember everything. Because the medications wipe me out, dude. But while I learn Sanskrit, I want you to learn Sanskrit with me, okay? So I'm giving you little clues along the way of what's yet to come. Not only, you know, the Tao Te Ching and all the other things that I've been mentioning. I'm going to give you clues about what's yet to come and what I've covered and so on. So even if you pick up the series like 2 years down the road, you know, you'll know what's going on and you'll know. You can go back at certain points and I covered this and I covered that and go for it, you know. Spend all the time watching this show that you want, man, because I've already got hours and hours and hours of this show alone. This video here will make 28 videos or something. So feel free to watch my show, baby. And whether you want to slam it or you want to praise up for it and tell me how good I'm doing as well as slam me in the same time, I don't care, dude. But be polite about it, because dude, I grew up in a bar, man. You know, my bad, I'm human, and I'm gonna want to be mean and rude to you if you're being mean and rude to me, you know? Whoops. I may be a Mason, but don't sit there and give me your crap and expect me to take a higher road every single time, because we all have little human moments where you make me mad and I'm gonna let you know it. You know, or if you're wrong and I'm like, whew, you don't know how wrong you are. You know what I mean? So let's learn together. Let's become better people together. And that's what this show is all about, you know, and taking all of this, you know, as a field theory, quantum field theory, you know, on quantum mechanics and enlightenment and Freemasonry, so that we can ultimately lead ourselves to a path of enlightenment and being better people. Now, whether you want to call it, you know, walking the path of enlightenment or God-realized life, dude, I don't care what you call it. As long as you're being a better person, that's what it's all about. You know, stop being such a bad person. I was going to say PRIC and add a couple more letters if you'd like, or just one more. I don't care. But, sorry, I want to monetize the video. I'm trying to swear. Because I swear like a trucker, man. So let's learn together, let's grow together, and let's take all the knowledge that we can throughout time and history and apply it to ourselves to be better people. And that's what my show, God Bless Freemasonry, is all about. Okay? So, I love you. And aren't I just a stinker? Yeah.